Here's the truth. When a woman senses you're pulling away, her entire behavior changes. I'll show you exactly why her behavior flips and how you can turn it to your advantage. Women react this way because losing your interest disrupts her sense of control. Evolutionarily, women tune into shifts in male attention as a signal of security, so your pullback triggers an automatic drive to reclaim control. This isn't just about missing you. It's about restoring the dynamic she felt when you were invested. In this video, I'll unpack our key behavioral tests and teach you how to handle each one. By mastering these responses, you'll project confidence and regain the upper hand in any relationship dynamic. And the first sign you'll notice is a sudden shift in how we reaches out. The sudden shift in attention. When we as women sense a shift in your attention, you'll notice our engagement with you becomes sharper and more deliberate. We'll start showing up in places we've been absent. Maybe it's a sudden like on an old photo, or we're commenting on your story after weeks of silence. Sometimes we'll send a message that seems casual on the surface, like, "Hope you're good." But the timing is anything but random. These are not just signs of missing you. This is our way of re-establishing a connection and making sure you haven't fully slipped away. Our attentiveness now takes on a new form. You might catch us dropping unexpected compliments, asking follow-up questions about your life, or referencing shared memories we never brought up before. We're not just reaching out. We're scanning for clues, trying to understand what changed. This happens because losing your validation sparks confusion, self-doubt, and competitive instincts in our minds. The gap left by your absence creates a kind of void, and we feel compelled to fill it, not just for reassurance, but to regain our sense of control. Most men miss what's really happening here. All this sudden attention is a subtle test. We're watching to see if you'll immediately respond, if you'll chase, or if you'll keep your distance. The tone of our messages might shift, warmer, more frequent, sometimes even a little flirty. But if you show too much interest, we'll back off just as quickly. This push and pull isn't accidental. We're trying to figure out whether your withdrawal is genuine or just a tactic to get our attention. This is where you need to stay sharp. Respond on your terms, keeping your energy consistent. This neutrality forces us to escalate or walk away. If you start matching our new level of engagement or rush to reply, you signal that we still hold the power. Instead, by staying steady, you make us question if our usual tactics work on you anymore. You'll notice us framing these interactions in ways that seem coincidental. We might mention running into your friends or bring up something that reminded us of you. The more random the excuse, the more calculated it usually is. If we truly weren't paying attention, we wouldn't reach out at all. This phase is critical because it determines who sets the pace from here on out. If you remain neutral, we either respect your boundaries or push harder. If you cave, we regain control and the dynamic resets. Don't confuse our renewed attention with genuine interest. We're reacting to the discomfort of losing your attention, not suddenly realizing your value. Many men make the mistake of over-pursuing the moment we give them a little bit of energy. Resist that urge. Let us wonder why our approach isn't getting the same results as before. Next, you'll see how we step up even more by testing your resolve in ways you might not expect. The jealousy trap. Sometimes we'll mention another guy's name in the middle of a conversation. That's not a coincidence. This is the jealousy trap, a calculated move designed to test your reaction and poke at your insecurities. This tactic taps into our need to confirm your interest by provoking insecurity, rooted in our subconscious competition drive. Dropping that concert line isn't random. It gauges if you'll react emotionally. We might say, "My coworker and I had so much fun at that concert you missed," and watch your face for any sign that you care. The moment you tense up or ask follow-up questions, we know we still have leverage over you. You'll see this play out on social media, too. Suddenly, our stories feature group photos with a guy standing just a little too close, or we're laughing in a video with someone new. Every post and every mention is placed to provoke a reaction. The real goal isn't to show you we've moved on. It's to force you to re-engage. If you react, we regain control. If you stay calm and unfazed, it puts us on the back foot. Research shows this is a classic way to spark insecurity and prompt you to reassert your interest. It's strategic, not emotional confusion. We want to see if you'll fight to keep us, or if your indifference is real. Mentioning another guy is the fastest way to find out. If you show irritation, even a little, we know you're still invested. If you stay neutral, we realize our leverage is slipping. The worst move you can make is to take the bait. Asking about the guy or making passive-aggressive comments tells us you still care. That's exactly what we're after. But if you respond with something like, "Sounds fun," and leave it at that, we're left wondering why you don't seem to care. That sense of uncertainty is what makes us either escalate or back off. Pay close attention to when we pull this move. If we bring up another guy right after you've gone a bit distant, it's intentional. We might start highlighting how funny or interesting he is, picking details that we know will get to you. We're not doing this by accident. We're trying to destabilize you and see if your withdrawal is just a bluff. A lot of men think the right response is to talk about other women or try to make us jealous in return. That almost always backfires. It makes you look insecure and reactive, which is the opposite of what actually works. The real power move is to stay unbothered. Ignoring the bait shows genuine confidence and emotional maturity, qualities we find far more attractive than any display of jealousy. Reacting gives us the control we're looking for. Staying calm signals that our tactics aren't working. This jealousy trap is a turning point in the dynamic. If you handle it wrong, we'll keep using it every time we feel the need to test you. If you handle it right, we quickly realize these games don't work on you. That's when we either step up our effort or start to change our approach entirely. Coming up, I'll reveal how we go from cold tests to unpredictable moods, and why you must stay unshaken. From warm to ice cold. Psychology shows that sudden withdrawal triggers a mirror response. Our energy mirrors yours to test if your distance is real. When we as women go from warm to ice cold, it's not random. We're reading your cues, then sending our own. One day we're talking about future plans. The next we're leaving your messages on read for hours. Every shift is intentional. We want to see if your lack of pursuit is just a bluff, or if you're actually moving on. A late-night "Hey stranger" text with zero context is designed to see if you'll bite. We're not checking in out of genuine interest. It's a probe. If you rush to reply or show excitement, we know we still have your attention. If you keep it brief and neutral, we're forced to rethink our approach. Match our indifference with calm brevity. Short replies maintain the power shift. This hot and cold pattern isn't about indecision or mixed feelings. It's a calculated test rooted in intermittent reinforcement, a psychological tactic that keeps you guessing. By alternating between warmth and distance, we create uncertainty. That uncertainty is what keeps most men hooked, always searching for the next sign of approval. We might act clingy one day and completely unavailable the next. The goal is to see if you'll chase our approval, or if you'll stand firm and let us come to you. Most guys get caught up trying to decode every mood swing. They mistake this behavior for genuine confusion, when really it's about control. The worst move is to react emotionally, showing frustration, asking why we're distant, or doubling down on attention. That only proves our tactics work. Instead, keep your responses measured. If we're slow to reply, mirror that pace. If we cancel plans, Don't rush to reschedule. Let us experience the same uncertainty we're creating. Notice when these cold phases pop up, usually right after you've pulled back. We're not just testing your interest, we're testing your emotional strength. If you stay steady, you force us to make a decision. Either we step up with genuine effort, or we realize the power dynamic has shifted. The point isn't to punish us or play games. It's about refusing to be manipulated by unpredictable attention. Stick around to learn how to handle our overcompensation next, because this push-pull is just the beginning. The overcompensation phase. When our cold streak doesn't get the response we want, we pivot into what I call the overcompensation test. This is when our effort suddenly ramps up. We start acting more invested, more agreeable, and more interested in the things you like. According to background research, we'll feign interest in your hobbies to reopen channels of validation. Out of nowhere, we ask about your favorite team, without naming a specific player. That's the telltale breadcrumb. It's not about a sudden love for your interests. It's about regaining the influence we sense slipping away. You'll notice these changes in subtle ways. We might reference something you mentioned months ago, but the details are always vague. I heard your team did well last night, we'll say, hoping you'll take the bait and start a conversation. We're not actually invested in the outcome of the game or the music you like. We're using these surface-level mentions to test if we can pull you back in with minimal effort. The moment you fill in the blanks or show excitement, we know our tactic is working. This phase works because it taps into your desire to feel seen and understood. When we suddenly show interest in your world, it can feel validating, even if you sense it's a little forced. But remember, this isn't about genuine connection. It's about strategy. We're creating common ground as a way to reestablish our position, not because we've had a change of heart. If we truly cared, our questions would be specific, our engagement consistent. Instead, our interest will be sporadic, just enough to see if you'll respond. By keeping your reaction neutral, cool, rather than enthusiastic, you force us to prove genuineness or bail. Don't reward the performance. If you match our energy with indifference, we have to decide whether to actually invest or move on. The real test is whether we sustain this effort when you don't immediately give us the reaction we're hoping for. If our interest fades the moment you don't bite, you've exposed our motive. A lot of men see this sudden shift as a breakthrough, thinking we're finally coming around. But genuine interest builds over time. When our new attitude lines up perfectly with your emotional distance, that's not coincidence, it's calculation. The overcompensation test is about leverage, not bonding. If you keep your responses short and your energy steady, you maintain control of the dynamic. This phase often signals we're running low on ways to get your attention. When acting interested doesn't work, we'll look for other ways to pull you back in. That's when the conversation shifts, and you start hearing reminders of everything we've done for you. The guilt gambit. This is where the guilt gambit comes into play. When indifference and overcompensation don't pull you back in, we may start referencing the effort we've invested or sacrifices we've made. Resorting to past favors leverages emotional debt, a proven pressure move when gentler tests fail. The goal is simple: make you feel that by pulling away, you're not just creating distance, you're being ungrateful. We're hoping this triggers a sense of obligation that will override your decision to step back. You'll hear lines that tie our old support directly to your current distance. I stayed up helping you when you needed it, but now you can't even reply. That's a clear guilt gambit. We're not reminiscing for the sake of connection. We're reframing our past actions as a debt you owe us, hoping you'll feel compelled to repay it with renewed attention. The timing is never random. These reminders surface only after your interest fades, not during the actual moments of effort. Men often feel obliged to reciprocate kindness, so we hope you'll cave. When we highlight the things we've done, we're counting on your instinct for fairness to kick in. The more you value reciprocity, the more likely you are to respond with apologies or increased engagement. That's the trap. The moment you apologize or start explaining yourself, you've shifted the power back to us. We now know guilt works, and this tactic will become our go-to whenever we sense the dynamic slipping. The critical mistake is to get drawn into a debate or to justify your actions. Over-explaining only fuels the cycle, giving us more emotional leverage. Instead, keep your response clear and concise. A simple, "I hear you," acknowledges our statement without conceding guilt. You're not dismissing us, but you're not letting us dictate your behavior either. If we're genuinely upset, we'll communicate directly. If we're playing for control, we'll escalate when our guilt angle doesn't land. Watch how we react when you don't take the bait. If the guilt gambit fails, we may resort to more drastic measures. This is often when the conversation shifts from reminders of the past to threats about the future. And that's a sign we're preparing our next move. One that's designed to make you question whether we're really leaving or just raising the stakes. The false exit. There's a point when every subtle test has failed, and that's when we turn to what I call the false exit bluff. You'll hear us threaten to leave, maybe even see us start packing. But look closer. We pack one bag but leave a toothbrush. That's a classic signal we're testing your reaction, not truly ending things. This isn't a real breakup. It's a calculated move to see if you'll chase, plead, or fold under pressure. We'll stage dramatic exits, tearing up while forgetting key items, just to see if you'll chase. You might hear, "Maybe we should just end this," delivered in a calm voice, no real plans in motion. The suitcase might be by the door, but our favorite jacket is still hanging in your closet. These details aren't mistakes. They're deliberate, designed to keep the door open and give us an excuse to come back if you don't react the way we want. This bluff works because it taps into your fear of loss. Even if you've been pulling away, hearing us threaten to walk out can trigger anxiety and push you to act. We're counting on that. The moment you start negotiating, apologizing, or promising to change, you hand us back the control we've been trying to get all along. Don't plead or negotiate. Simply nod and carry on. That indifference unmasks the bluff. If you respond with calm acceptance, "If that's your decision, I respect it," you remove the drama we're trying to create. No chasing, no arguments. Just a steady response that tells us you're not playing along. This is where the bluff usually unravels. We'll often backtrack, suddenly needing more time or wanting to talk things out. You'll notice the urgency fades the second we see you won't react. Mazda! That's how you know it was never about leaving. It was about seeing if we could still control the dynamic. A lot of men mistake these theatrics for real indecision. But the truth is, if we wanted to leave, we'd be gone. The false exit bluff is all about power. If you hold your ground, we learn our threats don't work. If you cave, you teach us that this tactic is effective and we'll use it every time we feel insecure. Stay steady and let us play our hand. When we realize our bluff isn't getting the reaction we hoped for, we'll look for new ways to get your attention. And sometimes that means taking things public, where every move is designed for maximum impact. The social media showdown. This is where the social media spotlight comes into play. When every private move falls flat, we turn to our digital audience. Each post is choreographed to draw your eye. This is social media as our final stage play. You'll see us shift from subtle to bold, using our profile as a tool to provoke a reaction and test your emotional discipline. The classic examples stand out. Suddenly, there's a photo of us at a club, dressed to catch attention, posted right after you've gone quiet. Or we drop a cryptic caption, something like "New Beginnings" or "On to Better Things," timed for when we know you'll see it. Both are direct attempts to spark jealousy and create mixed signals. According to research, these aren't just random updates. They're calculated moves to make you question your decision to pull away, hoping you'll reach out or at least show you're still watching. You'll notice the pattern if you pay attention. Our posts become more frequent, more curated, and more provocative when your attention fades. We might post at times we know you're online or share throwbacks to places you visited together. Even if the captions seem casual, you're the intended audience. The goal is to get you to overthink, to wonder if we're really moved on or just putting on a show for you. Most men get pulled into this trap, analyzing every detail, trying to decode the message. Don't fall for it. Our online activity is a performance, one meant to regain control and keep you emotionally invested. If you react, even with something as small as a like or a view, you're feeding our strategy. We know exactly when you engage, and it tells us we still have influence. The research is clear. Responding to these digital cues only reinforces our power. The only move that works is complete disengagement. No likes, no views, no digital breadcrumbs. Let us wonder if you've even seen our posts. When you refuse to participate, you sabotage our attempts and accelerate the power shift. We expect you to chase, to send a message, or to slip up and show you care. The longer you hold your ground, the more our efforts lose steam. If our social media activity spikes as soon as you go distant and fades when you're back, you've confirmed the game. Real indifference isn't about pretending not to care. It's about genuinely not responding. The less you acknowledge our digital theatrics, the faster we realize they don't work on you. That's when the dynamic shifts for good. But not everyone knows how to handle this kind of silence. When the spotlight doesn't bring you back, some of us drop all subtlety and go straight for the most direct approach. The nuclear option. Aggressive pursuit. This is the nuclear pursuit phase, the point where our actions become direct, obvious, and persistent. We're no longer dropping hints or relying on subtlety. You start getting warm texts at odd hours, sudden invitations to meet up, and we appear in places we never used to go. These aren't coincidences. They're calculated moves to break through your indifference and regain control. When we flood you with warm texts and surprise meetups, it's desperation, not genuine reconnection. We're showing up at your gym with a new look or, accidentally, running into you at your favorite spot. The effort is deliberate. We want to create moments where you have to respond, hoping the pressure will make you fold. You'll notice our communication style shifts. We initiate more, respond faster, and bring up old memories or inside jokes to trigger nostalgia. But this isn't about rebuilding trust. It's about overpowering your distance with sheer persistence. Background materials label this the last resort. We're testing if you crack under pressure. Every action is designed to see if you'll break your resolve. The more you resist, the more intense our pursuit becomes. We might double text, call unexpectedly, or even escalate to dramatic gestures. If you respond with the same level of enthusiasm, you reward our tactics and hand back the power we've been chasing. We're not looking for a real conversation. We're measuring how quickly you'll give in. You'll also see us use plausible excuses to explain our sudden presence. I was just in the area, or I thought you might want to know about this event. These lines give us cover if you question our motives, but the timing is always too perfect to be random. We're relying on your instinct to reciprocate when someone puts in extra effort, counting on you to drop your boundaries. The key is to stay cordial but distant. Don't rearrange your plans. If we text, reply if you want, but keep it brief. If we show up unexpectedly, be polite but don't linger or invite us in. Don't ask why we're suddenly around more or challenge our motives. Just let our actions speak for themselves. If we're serious, we'll persist beyond the initial onslaught. If not, the intensity fades as soon as we realize it's not working. What happens next depends on how you handle this phase. If you hold your ground, you force us to either step up with genuine effort or step away. If you cave, you restart the entire cycle, and we learn that turning up the intensity works every time. Understanding this last move is crucial because everything up to this point has really been about one thing. Conclusion. You've learned each test and your unshakable response. Now you hold the frame. This isn't about ignoring her or playing games. It's about self-respect, emotional discipline, and letting her earn your attention authentically. When you stay consistent and grounded, you show you can't be manipulated by sudden shifts in her behavior. Your value comes from your own standards, not her approval. Let her actions speak louder than her words. When you keep your priorities and don't react impulsively, you shift the dynamic in your favor. If she respects you, she'll step up. If not, you're better off. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit like and subscribe for more insights on mastering relationship dynamics. Watch the next video to discover why do women come back after rejecting you.